In last class, we discussed about industrial relationship between HR's objective, why industrial relationship required in the organization, what are the benefits. We discussed all these things to establish the industrial peace between the employees and employers. What benefits the employees are getting, and in industry as a unit, what benefits are getting between the relationship. We discussed about the objectives and benefits. Today we'll understand the scope. What is the scope? The meaning of scope is any entity or any objectives, any component impacted by industrial relations. That means in an industry, people are working, anyone working. It could be the employee, employer, government, different agency, whoever are working in the industry, their relations between them, people are working, the relations between them is called industrial relations. The scope of industrial relationship and it's related to the functions we have given in the slide. We'll read this slide, then we'll understand what are the component, what are the entity impacting the industrial relationship. We made a note on that. First, we'll understand this definition or the scope. What are the component impacting industrial relationship? Let me read this slide. Industrial relationship is a wide-ranging term. Different scholars have expressed their different views on the scope of industrial relationship. According to Dell, industrial relationship incorporate policies relating to recruitment, selection, training of workers, personnel. That means everything. You understand this component: recruitment, selection, training, workers. When I talk about selection, it talks about the complete interviewing process, everything. Training, personnel. Personnel management means the HR management and collective bargaining according to the International Labour Organization, ILO, International Labour Organization. Industrial relationship incorporate the relations between the state and employers and the relations between the trade unions and employers association, different association, different unions. So it is a relationship between the employees and employer and different unions. So that is what defined by different scientists and International Labour Organization. According to Richard A. Lesson, a scope of industrial relationship is no longer limited only to trade unions and industrial management. Rather, it includes all aspects of labor such as wages, productivity, social security management, and employees process. Indian policies also form part of it. He is a different scientist and a scholar, writer. He has given the definition that is, it has no limit for the unions. You talk about unions, social security management, different policies, rules, regulations. So the relationship is not limited to that. You talk about anything, the relationship is beyond that. If you know about the functions, what is industrial relationships are doing, so that will relate to many things. In a modern organization, the industrial relationship functions are performed by industrial relationship department. This functions is performed under the supervision of directors of the industrial relationship department. In the performance of these functions, support is rendered by different managers and subordinates. Different important functions performed by workers of the industrial relations department. There are some different important functions given in the list: management, public relations, labor relations, recruitment, medical and health service, maintaining the employment record, the employees record, what is their name, details, contact details, address, everything. Age, recruitment. Recruitment includes total HR management, interviewing, test, and their skills, everything. And that will extend to training, their skill development, their career development. Suppose you have a group of people who need some training, so you need to identify the training need, training requirement of the employees. Then based on that, you have to plan. So these are the functions of industrial relationship. Once you remember the functions, you will understand the scope. These are the people mainly related to industrial relationship, are impacted by the relationship, or influenced by the relationship. From this, we have some points you can remember to write it down. Employers and employees. In any industry, I was telling sometimes before, whoever is working, the relationship between those people, whoever are working. Employers means who is the owner of the industry. Employees means who are working. ଯେ କାମ କରୁଛି, ଯେ କାମ କରାଉଛି, ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ସମ୍ପର୍କ, ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ସମ୍ପର୍କ ଭଲ ନହେଲେ you have lot of problem. So the scope is mainly for the workers, employees, and the employer. That is the first thing. And another thing is group relations. Group means team. The organization has different team for different activities. So if you have a good team, if the members of that organization or that group are well related, well talking, each one have trust among them, believe among them, helpful, then your performance as a group will better. So group relationship is a big thing for industrial relations. It influence, it motivate the group to maintain a good relationship between the members, between different groups, within the groups, like that. So group relationship is a major scope. Labor relations. Labor means here we can make it 1 point. The poor people. the people are working. So in general, in industry, or you have seen in the market, whoever are owner of the person, owner of the industry, owner of the group, owner of the organization, they are the rich people and they exploit the poor people. For example, ତମେ ଯଦି ରାସ୍ତାରେ ଯାଉଛ, ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ବଡ଼ ଗାଡ଼ିରେ ଯାଉଛ, କାରରେ ଯାଉଛ, ଗୋଟେ ସାଇକେଲ ବାଲା ସହିତ ଆକ୍ସିଡେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲା, ତମେ କ'ଣ କରିବ? ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଓହ୍ଲେଇ ପଡ଼ିକି ସାଇକେଲ ବାଲାକୁ ଗାଳି ଦେବ, ଭୁଲ ଯାହାର ଥାଉ, କାରଣ ତମ ପାଖରେ ବେଶୀ ପଇସା ଅଛି, ତମେ ତାକୁ ସାଇକେଲ ଦେଖୁଥିବ, ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଛୋଟ ଗାଡ଼ିରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବେଶୀ ଗାଳି ଗୁଲଜ ମାଡ଼ଗୋଳ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହେଇଯିବ। But if you do the same thing for a different person, suppose you are going in a small car and you hit to a person who is going in a big car, then you will think twice. You will not behave like that. କାରଣ କ'ଣ? ସମସ୍ତେ ଗରିବଙ୍କ ଉପରେ ଅତ୍ୟାଚାର କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆଗଭର। We have seen in the market. That relationship is good or bad. We have to see ଗରିବ ଲୋକମାନେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲଏଡ୍ ହଉନାହାନ୍ତି ତ ଇଣ୍ଡଷ୍ଟ୍ରି। Industrial relationship is observing that and making sure they are not exploited the labor relations. Public relations, what type of relations you have in the society. That means suppose you have one industry in that colony, whether you are maintaining proper peace, people are not feeling bad because of you. You are not creating bad pollution. You are not making dirty on the colony road, or you are not uh, producing a bad product which is impacting the society. So you have to make sure a good relationship is maintained with the public around you, wherever you have install your industry or you have a good relations in your colony or general public or customer. That is public relationship. Industry relationship makes sure that you have a good relationship in the society. Negotiation, collective bargaining. I was talking about exploitation and related to employment, any rules and regulations related to employment. Employment ସହିତ ଯେତେ ସବୁ ନିୟମ ଆଉ ଯେତେ ସବୁ rules regulations ସବୁ ଲିଙ୍କ ଅଛି employment ସହିତ, ସପୋଜ ତାକୁ ନେଇକି କନଫ୍ଲିକ୍ଟ ହେଲା, କିଛି ଗ୍ରିଭିଏନ୍ସ ହେଲା ତମର ଏମ୍ପ୍ଲୟ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ, then you have to talk to the employer. That kind of negotiation is one's main component. Collective bargaining, we studied earlier, is the main component of industrial relationship. So it includes the negotiation, the talk, laws and regulations. There are different laws and regulations implied the smooth running of the industry. For example, suppose you are coming to the industry, the labor law says everyone has to work 8 hours. So based on that, industry has a rule that people will come by this time and go by this time. Whatever the shift, whatever the things, so based on that labor law, you have to implement that. The minimum wage act, suppose there is a rule. So the industry has to pay this much for the employee. So these are the laws and regulations, rules. They employer has to follow, and this is one major scope of industrial relationship. Relationship between the different people has to be positive relationship. If you have work, if you have work with your colleague, if you always think your supervisor, your manager is not good, or is always thinking bad about you, or having a personal cause on you, so that is a negative relations. If you have positive, if you always go with your supervisor, whatever he will say, you are listening, you are working, you are delivering on time. So that will give a good impression of your manager or your supervisor on you. But that type of relationship is known as positive relationship. Unions. So there are different unions between the organization which will talk about on behalf of the employee. So unions of employer, unions of employee. For example, there are different trade union. People will join in trade union, and that union will talk to the management. Management has different unions. So these are the scope of industrial relationship. So these are the component where you will feel the relationship is impacting, or the relationship can improve, and the relationship can work better when you work on this component. These are the different scope. We'll discuss why industrial, what is the importance. So these things we discussed in the characteristics, and we have a difference. Why important, why industrial relationship is very important for any industry. It promotes democracy. When you are giving chance to the employee to think, to make a decision, or you are asking different things, you are encouraging the employees to contribute in decision making, contribute in small scale. So that will promote the democracy. Industrial relations means employing collective bargaining to resolve issues faced by workers. Suppose କିଛି ଗୋଟେ problem ହେଲା, you have given responsibility to the team that you resolve this. So the team will think, okay, they are empowered, they are having more decision making skill, they will exercise all those things they have, and they will try to solve it within them with a good output. So that is importance of industrial relations. High moral. High moral means whenever you have a good relationship with your friends, with your colleague, with your supervisor, then you will definitely feel good. Good industrial relationship enhance the morale of the employees and motivate the workers to work more efficiently. ଏଇଟା ସବୁବେଳେ ତୁମେ ଦେଖିଛ, ତମେ ଯଦି ଘରେ ରାଗିଥିବ, your behavior, your performance, ତମେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ କାମ କରିବାକୁ ଭଲ ପାଇବନି। ତମେ ଯଦି ମନ ଖୁସି ଥିବ ତମର, then you will work properly, you will motivate yourself. lot of motivation will come, and you will perform work nicely in the office, in the work, in the home. So it depends on your relationship, your mood. So that will increase the high morale if you have good relationship with others. Avoid conflict, management and union. Minimize wages, economic growth and development. Minimize wages, minimize wastage. So whenever you are working in the industry, suppose a group, a big group, a big machinery is not working, or you have a problem in that, and the owner of the industry has locked down that. So there will be a lot of production issue, wastage issue. But if you have a good relationship between the members and you discuss how to make use of it and how to improve the productivity, then you can use that, and you can work in that raw materials. You can make use of it, whatever the wastage. So you will limit the wastage or make use the best use of time, raw material, money, everything once you are cooperative, and if you have a good relationship with the other team members, so that will help you to minimize the wastage. It will help also to avoid the conflict between the management and union. Suppose there are some grievance, there are some problem between the management and unions. So most of the times the members are helpful to resolve that issue. And if you have the solution in hand, so most of the times the laborers, the workers, or the employers who has the problem, they resolve that issue, and or the union get into the issues and they help to avoid that conflict. So the problem will not arise. Sometimes what will happen, the union or the employer will sense that this could be the problem. So before that, we'll have a solution ready. So that will avoid the conflict. Otherwise, what will happen? You will end up with the problem. You will have the different problem, and it will waste a lot of energy, lot of time, lot of discussion. If you have the union, if you have the proactive nature, and you will resolve that beforehand, before. So that will avoid the conflict between the employer and employee. Economic growth and development. Good and harmonious industrial relationship result in increased efficiency and hence prosperity, which is in turn minimize the turnover and other tangible benefits of the organization. So if you have good relations between the workers, between the employers, between the management, so your productivity, your profitability will increase, and you will have good growth in the industry. So that will develop the economy of your industry and economy of your the country. If you have good growth in the industry, so definitely that will increase the growth of country. So these are the importance of industrial relationship. It will promote the democracy, it will increase the morale of the employees, it will avoid the conflict, it minimize the wastage, and it will maintain the growth and increase the economic condition of the country, industry, and it will develop that. So these are the importance of having industrial relations, good industrial relations. Function. These things we studied earlier. We'll continue that in the next class. We'll study more on that. Maybe another 2, 3 class. This course will complete. Functions of industrial relationship we'll study in the next class. We'll continue this industrial relationship. Thank you.